Okay, it's about time I reviewed a Dreamcast game. This is Silent Scope.
Silent Scope.
One of the many Dreamcast games that for some reason announces itself at the title screen.
Virtua Tennis.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Crazy Taxi!
Sega Sports Tennis 2K2.
Crazy Taxi 2!
The House of the Dead.
Hydro Thunder!
Welcome to Power Stone War.
The story is simple. Some terrorists have kidnapped the president and his family. And according to the back of the game case, these are not ordinary terrorists, these are lethal terrorists. So it's up to you, a professional sniper, to wipe them out and save the first family. You play the game from behind a sniper gun, moving your scope across the screen. When you see an enemy, you zoom in and fire a precise shot. Since you are up against a time limit, you'll need to find and kill the bad guys as quickly as possible. Once you shoot enough of them, your time will be extended. If you let the guys stay on the screen for too long, they'll start shooting back at you. Both you and the enemy will be shooting from cars, trucks, and helicopters, so you'll have to lead your shots ahead of the target in those situations. As you progress, you'll get into a lot of boss battles, and these are quite fun. These bosses require multiple shots to destroy, but they don't last long if you hit their weak points, which is usually their heads. Each boss battle is unique. One guy is driving a hijacked truck and is coming straight at you. And another is piloting a high-tech airplane. As usual in this type of game, hostages and bystanders are mixed in with the bad guys to test your judgment. Scoping out the ones in bathing suits will increase your life meter. Being an arcade port, Silent Scope rolls by very quickly. You can reach the last stage in under 10 minutes. I really didn't like this last stage because I always died there. This is the first game I reviewed that I've never beat. Most of it takes place in the dark, and once you get inside the headquarters, the game slows to a crawl as you go from room to room shooting at guys in the dark. And it seems like the clock doesn't give you enough time to make it through. I even tried it on the lowest difficulty setting possible, but it didn't help. That being said, there is some replay value since the game allows you to take different paths every time you play. Everything I've discussed so far has been about the story mode, but the game also has a variety of shooting ranges that test your skills. Many of the targets in these are flat versions of humans, and you're only supposed to hit the ones that are holding guns. Some of the guys are holding things that look like guns, such as umbrellas and guitars. This will really test your itchy trigger finger. These shooting galleries will hold your interest at first, but they get repetitive after a while. The story mode is still the best part of the game. Silent Scope does a good job of recreating the feel of being a sniper, not that I've ever been one before. However, the controls make it hard to perform some of the precise shots that are needed, such as hitting this guy running across the football field. The arcade version of Silent Scope had a large gun with an LCD screen inside the scope. The Dreamcast does not have a gun that can replicate that one, so there's no light gun support for it. There is one Dreamcast gun called the Bio Gun, which can be used to play, but it's not what you expect. Moving the scope around the screen is done with the D-pad on the side of the gun, and pointing the trigger fires. How you point the gun doesn't matter though. You can point it at the floor and still be able to play. It sounds pretty pointless and it should not be considered as light gun support. Konami did everything it could to make the conventional controller viable, utilizing every button and giving the player choices on which buttons to use. No matter how you use the controller though, it ends up being a lot to think about for what should be just a straightforward shooter, and it doesn't deliver the precision that you need. The Dreamcast mouse can be used and I highly recommend it. It's not fast when it comes to moving around the screen, but it's less complicated and gives you more precision than the regular controller. For some reason, the developers also made it so you can play on the VMU. But don't bother, it's just a gray and black flickering mess. You might as well be playing with a blindfold on your face. Overall, Silent Scope has a fun arcade feel to it, but the lack of solid controls keep it from reaching its full potential. In the end, it's just an average gaming experience. The rating for the game is coming up, and thank you for watching Gaming the Systems.